Hi, Dr. Poe. So here is a demo for Miss Pearl. I've used a couple of old videos and then brand new videos that we just took Saturday, so you can see where she is now. So I'm going to go and start with those videos. So I'm going to start from the very beginning of what my routine would look like. So I would saddle her and I would check that cinch one more time, make sure it's nice and tight, and I would start lunging her. So with her being only a coming 3-year-old, and I would probably put her energy level, the best example I can give you is she's more camo than she is sassy. So she is a little bit, she's got some energy. She's a little tough. She ended up actually being a little lazy Saturday, so it's funny I'm saying that. But she's got some energy to her. I've actually spent a lot of time getting her to calm down. But with her being a baby and being, a little bit more of a performance horse bloodlines than say like Sassy was, she is a little bit more playful. So what I do with her is this little groundwork routine where I get her on a pretty good length lead rope here, so I can send her around in a lope and all of that. Her lope is not the best. She's a little awkward still. She's growing into the long legs she's sprouted recently. But she lopes and kind of gets it out of her system. A lot of times she'll do it a little bit here in a minute, but a lot of times she kind of does a little buck or something like that, or scoots around. Nothing crazy, nothing hard to hold on to like that right there. But she just kind of gets playful. If you do this first, then she gets it out of her system and you get to go have a peaceful ride. So this groundwork video is 4 minutes. It's a little long, but I wanted to show you exactly what I do with her every day. So I do a variant of this type of exercise where I'm getting her to lunge around at a trot and then lunge her out at a lope, both directions, that sort of thing. So for her cues, you'll notice what I'm doing here is I'm just giving her a little tug if she pulls on me, but other than that, she kind of keeps her own circle. And then when I want her direction change, I'm going to yield the hindquarters. So I'm going to pull the face towards me a little bit, and I'm going to really look at that hip, and it'll ask her to yield that hindquarters away. So she faces me right here. There we go. And then I'll point and send, and she's going to move over really well. If you do like a big motion, she does quickly. And then if you do a small motion, she does a little slower. So this, what I'm getting into right here, this what I'm doing right here is a walking C pattern. This is just something, if you're bored with just lunging circles, this is a lot of fun. So you're just walking in a set direction, and you're asking her to stay out of your way and still lunge. So I'm going to go back the other way here. That's a yield, point and send. I'm just going to kind of walk in one direction like I'm heading point A to point B, and I'm sending her along with me. Every time she gets to about 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock, I'm doing a turn and sending her on. And it's just a fun little exercise you can do with her. I've been doing this over the course of the last 6 months or so once her groundwork was more advanced, and it's a lot of fun. So you can see her really pay attention to me here. She's locked onto me. Back up is going to be wiggle the lead rope here. The more you wiggle it, the faster she should go. If she doesn't go, however, if she gets a little lazy about it, take your lead rope and give her a little bop there. She's being really good right now, so I didn't actually smack her, but I just kind of wanted to show you what I would do in those moments where she doesn't. This is another exercise you can do. I'll usually do 1 or 2 of these. Short lead rope, walk towards her hip, make her yield her hip out of the way. Front end's supposed to stay relatively still where the back moves around, so it's kind of the opposite of a spin or a pivot. So I'm doing this on both sides, just for the practice here. It's a really good respect exercise. Pearl tends to be a very respectful horse, but that's just going to be one of those things that helps you keep that. By all means, she's welcome to come back. She's adorable, but I want to give you as much of this stuff that I do with her to maintain her training as possible so that you can have the option to do that as well. Right now, all I'm doing is I'm just tossing this lead rope up and over her. With her being kind of that performance horse touchy type, I want to make sure after I do that sensitizing stuff and making her move that I also show her she doesn't always have to move away from me and my things, so I'll just desensitize. Alright, so now moving on to actually riding her. So you brought a smoothmouth snaffle, which she was riding in for a little while, and I have actually upgraded her to a twisted wire snaffle. If I have not yet sent you a link for that, let me know, and I can send that to you. But it's a twisted wire snaffle. It just gives you a little bit more turn, a little bit more stop, all that stuff. It's still an A-level bit. It's not a B-level bit yet, but still for the youngsters. But it's still a snaffle, it's still a D-ring, but it's a twisted wire. So Pearl is very good at bloating. So check that cinch one more time before you get on. I usually do my groundwork with a tight cinch and then bridle her up and then tighten it up one more time. I usually get at least one more hole out of it. So I'm flexing her to the side when I get on and when I get off. It helps her balance. So you see how she kind of moves a little to the side. She's been doing this for a long time, but here she struggled with it early on, and then she got really good at it, and then she grew again, and now she's struggling with it again. So when you get on, flex her to the side. It helps her kind of brace up her feet. Plus she gets to look at you while you climb on. I've ridden her. I've had half a dozen other people ride her. So she's used to seeing other people hop on, but it just gives her that chance to see. I also flexed her side to side when I got on, so that way she gets to see me and she gets to kind of that little flexibility test right as I get on. From there, I just kind of walk off and cruise around. She starts out very mellow now. This is something we've had to work really hard on. She would start out hyper and wanting to go do stuff and do her own thing, and she's had to work really hard on that to just relax. So you're going to see a lot of, I'm just going to walk her around here for a few minutes so you can see what I'd normally do. I'd just walk her around for a little while. She's gone down the road, she's ridden out in the pasture, checked fences, all that sort of stuff. So her stop is really nice. In fact, it is a great stop. So make sure when you do ask her to stop, especially at your faster speeds, when you pull back on her, she's going to stop pretty quick with that reining pedigree of hers. So make sure you're sitting right. Okay, so moving on to a trot. I have taught her to do this little jog here, which is barely tension on your reins. So you can, if she's in a real lazy mood, you can have some looser reins too, and she'll still hold it. But she has been taught to do this little jog here. So say you're checking fences or something, and a walk's just a little too boring, you can scoot her up to this little jog here. If I post and give her some more rein, that's that speed up cue where I get a little faster trot here too. So I have taught her, unless you're really posting and driving her forward with your legs, I'm doing little kicks here on most of the strides, that she's supposed to do a little sitting jog. It's really, really comfortable. With her being on the athletic side, and she's going to feel really good as she grows up. With her being kind of on the athletic side, she's going to feel really, really nice with that jog. But already I can just sit that jog all day long. Feels really nice. So I kissed her to go and then kick, and then if she has a lazy day like she's doing for this Saturday, then I just use my reins a little side to side on her neck. There's that stop again. She's going to back up. So her backup cue is pull with your reins and then bump with your legs to speed up. So I'll usually back her until she collects her head like that too. Just makes it all look pretty and fancy. Keeps that back really well too without her throwing her nose. Alright, and then as for her leg cues, with her being young, I did not teach her a spin, so that way I wasn't wearing out her knees, but she does know how to pivot, so she has the start of it. So I'm using my outside leg, pulling her in the direction I want to go, and then I'm using those reins also to keep her from moving forward. So they're stopping forward motion, moving her in the direction I want to go, and then the outside leg is just going to do this little double bump thing. So you can bump her pretty light here and she'll go. She's gotten pretty good at her leg cues. So there's her pivot. So there's your slow motion spin. Practically if you're going to grab gates or something like that, or just to move around and enjoy fancy buttons. That's something if I get her back when she starts to grow up more and her joints are more mature, say like as a 3 or 4-year-old, I can teach a spin pretty quickly because she already knows what's up. Same with the side passing. So here's another button that she has. I'm going to come over here to a little rail. This is something you can do over a log out on the trail or just in the arena for fun. So it's just moving over. So the difference between that pivot and side pass, I'm just putting my leg right in the middle, and then I'm scooting her sideways rather than pulling her shoulder around. So that side pass, my hands just kind of move over there and put her head slightly in the wrong direction, and then bump that on the side. And you can move her hip over by putting your foot further back. You move her shoulder by moving your foot further forward, all that stuff. Real quick, here is a clip of her loping. She was a little lazy Saturday, and I've been working on, rather than pushing her to do it, I let her just walk trot because I've been working really hard on getting her to just relax. So here's a clip from the other day, I think this was actually January, that this particular video was taken. But here she is working on her loping. So you can tell she's grown into these long legs, and she's just a little awkward. She can still stop really well at a lope from them, but when you put her into a lope, she's just a little bit gangly now that she's grown some extra legs. So we worked on it a ton, and lately I've really prioritized what you're going to be doing with her, just that chill walk and trot around. So she does know that if you have your cowboys out there and they want to lope her, that's fine. The lighter the rider, the better for her at a lope. So I'm flexing her when I hop off of her. And same as when I get on. So just for the sake of showing you, I'm hopping on and off both sides because you can. So if you're going to get off on the right side, same thing. Flex to the right, hop off. And then if you're getting on from the right side, flex to the right side. I think she balances slightly better from the left. That's probably partially my bad because my right knee gives me trouble sometimes, so we have extra practice there. But you can do both sides. Just flex it that way. This is her favorite scratch spot. Very important. She absolutely loves it. This has pros and cons. You can give her a really good reward because she loves her neck scratched, but she also had trouble learning a neck rein because she doesn't yield from it. She thinks it feels good. So if I cross my reins over for neck rein with one hand, she just thinks it feels good. So there's that, but she absolutely loves it. It's her favorite spot. Pearl has been awesome. I love her. She's been a good student. We're really going to miss her. So we hope you enjoy her. Keep in mind she is still a very youngster, so she still has that want to play. So keep her focused on you. Do your groundwork first, thing like that. But overall, she is a very good horse. And at that point, she's pretty been there, done that for a 2-year-old. So enjoy your new girl with all her fancy buttons. And I will hopefully see her again someday.